My name is Greg. I'm a Jeepaholic.
Hi, welcome to Wrong Side of the River Gearheads. I'm Sarah.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Mitch.
With our guest speaker today, we have Greg. He is going to be in here talking about his M38. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, my current Jeep is a 1970 M38A1 CDN3. So it's Canadian military.
I was going to ask you what the rest stands for there.
It's just a version. The US has sort of a A1, A2 versions. There's the original. So this the CDN3. I'm not 100% certain about exactly what the differences are. I think one of them with the CDN3 is a semi-floater rear axle and 10-inch brakes and one-piece windshield. Those are the only ones that I know. Prior to that, it was a two-piece windshield and full floater rear end.
There's so much history, eh?
Yeah.
And it's trivia, like this piece and that nut and that bolt.
And I'm not 100% sure. I'm not,
But that's the gist, eh?
Yeah.
We won't fact check you, I think.
No, that's right. You win.
Later.
So this past Saturday, we took Mabel, because that's the name of your Jeep.
Yeah, that's what
And she's named after your aunt, right?
my great aunt, yeah.
Great aunt, okay.
My nanny's sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was just a fitting name for her?
Yeah. I thought so.
And Mabel suits her. She looks like a Mabel. And I would like to just briefly talk. So we did go out riding this weekend for the first time.
That's right. It's the first time in 3 years that I've done some real off-roading in Mabel. Yeah.
Jeepy things in your Jeep.
Yeah.
Jeepy things, yeah.
Well, it was all about insurance. So for the first 3 years that I owned it, it was insured as an antique. So the main stipulation was no off-roading.
In the policy.
Yeah. Line number one, not even, it was like bold and underlined. It wasn't even the fine print. So.
It's like what Jeep people do.
Yeah, it wasn't that I was worried about bagging it up and not getting paid for it, but I didn't want to get somebody hurt and then be on the hook because, no insurance means no liability either. So I did it by the book. So now this year it's insured as a second vehicle and hence its first off-roading.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of
And this past winter, you have built Mabel a mobility scooter.
That's right.
Or a stretcher.
Or a stretcher, depends on what the day is feeling. But I like her mobility scooter because she does have a top speed, right? That's one of the reasons. I guess.
A comfortable speed.
A comfortable speed is 70. I don't mind doing 80 for short bursts just to get out of somebody's way. So I really pick my routes. I'll go as far as Oshawa. It's easy to get to Oshawa on the back roads. I do have a large trailer, an enclosed trailer. It's 24 feet inside, so it's almost 30 tip to tip.
Half-ton killer.
Yeah, it's not that heavy, but it's just really hard to get around and hard to park. So this winter I built something sized specifically just for the Jeep. It's proving to be really handy.
And what was the catalyst for this trailer and its dimensions?
I got free axles. And
every project starts with a free thing.
And then I got really cheap tires.
They are amazing tires. It just
Interco Thornbirds.
Yes.
Original Thornbirds.
They look so cool, and then you have like the olive drab trailer color. Like it just everything ties together for Mabel. Like it's so cool looking.
I was quite pleased with the way it turned out. Yeah.
And fenders that are custom to match the tires.
Yes.
Dimensions of the trailer that matches the Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Calculated for weight distribution. It was perfect.
I might have done a weight distribution calculation.
Yeah.
So what's your profession, Greg?
I have a diploma in mechanical engineering.
So there's the weight distribution.
Yeah, if I can make it perfect, I shall make it perfect. There's no just winging it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was probably the coolest part, the favorite part about taking the Jeep off-road for the first time?
Do you have a favorite obstacle that you did? Because
Yes,
we did do Gooderham in Kawartha Lakes, or I guess that's Trent Hills. Sorry.
Trent Hills, yeah.
I do have a favorite obstacle.
Oh yeah.
It was the last hill that I made it up under my own steam.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that was challenging. I could feel a couple of times pawing for some traction, and yeah, I was happy with the route I picked. So the whole day, well, the first 2/3 of the day, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
It was really good. I was really impressed. You didn't see a lot of tire spin. There's coming down to the bridge on Gooderham there. You actually did some really nice stuffing, some like nice flexing. You know, you stuffed a tire up in the fender. Like it just, it looked like an old Army Jeep commercial. You know what I mean? Like it just looked like this is what the Jeep was built for, and it was just going through the motions, and it was just making things look so easy.
It felt good. Yeah, I was happy with all the lines I picked. And,
As I told you, I was happy at the end there when you came down to the bridge and you had to do like a 4-point turn because I was like, oh goodness, it's me.
Yeah, it does not turn sharp. I think it's the Bendix joints in the front axles, the closed knuckles. But I was shocked at the turning radius for an 81-inch wheelbase.
I didn't realize it was 81 inches. That's
It is
tiny.
short,
I was just
eh?
saying that's. I knew it was tiny, but
It's only 60 inches wide. It's,
you could fit almost two of you going down the highway in one lane, just side by side.
That
You
was
were saying that
actually-
quite a few
That would
times.
be
You're like,
that'd be a pretty cool formation to go in.
that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Like the motorcycle guys, eh?
Yeah.
When they're all stacked up.
Yeah.
That was actually something that was very, very noticeable. Like we're going down the road and, you know, we got all the different sized vehicles. A lot of JKs, obviously, but they all look fairly road filling. And then your Jeep just looks like I'm taking up the required amount. It's like I'm not hogging the road. I'm using just what I need, you know.
Just what he needs.
And that 507 was a fitting road too. You know what I mean? Like it was, you know, there's hills and stuff, but there's a lot of turns. It's like we could always catch you in the mirror. That looked cool.
Yeah. When I reviewed some of the video, I kind of felt like a Russian bear on a bicycle in the Jeep.
You are a full size man.
Yeah.
Because that was because we actually reviewed some of the videos yesterday, and it just so happened that every time Sarah was taking the video, your face was clouded by the rear view mirror or the side mirror, the wing mirror. And we're just like, where's Greg? But it was cool. And like you said, there was a lot of good traction. Like the suspension, you think you see what, like 7 to 9 or 11 leads in the thing, and it still flexes quite well.
Skinny and tall stacks. I was shocked when we put it on the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The RTI.
I flexed up. I think it was 830, and I was thinking 450 or something.
Where do you even begin?
Yeah.
And the great thing is your Jeep is not going to wreck the ramp like some of the heavier ones.
I take offense to that.
Yeah. And it is my fault because I kept thinking that when we were welding it, I wanted to make sure that it was a nice, smooth, decorative weld. Well, if you only have so much material to work with, you can only get so much penetration, and then you grind it off smooth, and then bang, 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 bang. Like it's just rapid fire. So anyhow, thank you for fixing it the last time we had rapid fire.
You're welcome.
It's going to end up being just one big plate by the time we're all said and done, but...
No, we need a little bit of traction on. We need to.
Well, no, that's why you get a plate, and then you weld the expanded steel on that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Don, where were you when we did it?
Right over there.
That's right.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't think you were living over there then. I think you had
No?
moved already.
No, I'd moved, but yeah.
Because I remember
For
trying
story's
it out in the
sake, that
driveway.
makes
Yeah,
it faster.
yeah, that makes it best. Makes it more plausible that you didn't go to anybody else for advice.
On a complete side note, I'm going to put my winter 35s on and I'm going to drive off the end of that ramp just to prove to Gary that I am the queen.
Don't do that because he's going to get a fucking running start at it.
No, he will launch it off the end just to beat me.
Yeah.
Well, just for some context, like Gary's is a stretch TJ with what, a 3-link front or 5-link front, and then all long
I
arms.
should pull up the numbers and see if Twisted is
Better
better
than
than Dilly.
Yeah.
Because he's beat me twice, one with Dilly, one with Twisted.
I think
Twisted would have more articulation
Yes,
though because
but
he's got the long arm.
he's got big tires in
He's
it.
got a decent long wheelbase. Like he's got a bigger wheelbase with it.
Yeah.
It was impressive to see that thing flex the way, like when you have all the front rear long arms and the tires just stuff right in.
Yeah. My 40s don't stuff.
No,
They hit body.
it don't jiggle.
No.
It folds.
I folded a lot of the body off of it. I'm not ready to do anymore.
I scrubbed the tub on the ramp with my
Yeah.
Yeah.
716s, those massive
Yeah.
MTSs.
Yeah.
That was some good flex on it. I can't believe how well it flexed.
Yeah.
And it just kept going, too.
Yeah.
I love
So-
the tractorness of your Jeep. How it just, like, tractors along. You know, it doesn't ever really sound like it's trying. It just kind of, like, does its job. I really like that about it.
I wish I had a lower transfer case though.
Is
Lower low range.
Is it like 2 or is it?
I don't think
similar?
it's even 2. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it's definitely less than 2.
What transfer
I think
case
it's
is
about
in it?
1.6.
Oh, 1.6. No.
Yeah,
Wow.
something like that. Yeah. It's, I don't know, an 18
Okay.
or
An MP or whatever new process.
no, I think. Well, I don't know.
We're putting you on the spot
Yeah.
here.
I think it's I don't know, a Dana.
Dana, I'm thinking
Maybe 18 or 20, I forget now, but it's a T90 transmission. I know that.
Okay.
And they have a fairly close 3-speed, right? For its age, like it's first gear's a little bit tall, and then
Yeah.
third gear's maybe a touch short.
I think third's 1-to-1.
Okay.
Because it's a 3-speed transmission, right?
Yeah, non-synchro first, which
Takes
can
me
be a pain in the butt.
It's challenging if you're not used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no just
It's
like
challenging when you're used to it too.
yeah.
Sometimes.
What engine's in it?
F134. So it's intake over exhaust.
Okay.
Exhaust valve in the block, intake valve in the head. 134 cubes. It's based on the Go Devil, which was
I've heard of that.
I was just saying, I've
Which
heard of
was
the Go
a-
Devil,
Yeah,
but
I've
I can't
heard Go
remember
Devil.
what it's in.
flathead.
Okay.
So it's the same basic architecture. I think shares a lot of stuff. Rods, crank, pistons.
Maybe even block or similar.
Well, maybe the main casting, but it's going to not be exact.
Yeah.
There's only one valve hole in the block per cylinder.
But it's a pretty significant difference. Like the Go Devil topped out at like 60 horse.
I think this is rated for 75.
Yeah, so that's a
So-
big jump. Like
That's
doing a small little change, you know.
Yeah.
that's impressive for what was it, 70? No. What year is it?
It's a 70, but
Yeah.
that F head has been around since the early 50s.
So that's an
around for
impressive
a
bit of
long
power
time.
for a vehicle that small from the 50s. Like,
Yeah.
And probably a big old flywheel too, right? Like tractor.
I haven't had a look at the flywheel. I can't say
See,
for sure.
that's the reliability part of it. You haven't had it apart.
Yeah.
You haven't had to have it apart.
yeah.
No, but I was just saying we learned a lot of cool things about it. I know it sounds completely weird, but I learned that I didn't have a key to start. You don't have a key to drive it, so.
That came out a lot yesterday. Or the
But
other day.
it was weird though. I never really thought about it
Oh, let's
until.
move Greg's Jeep. Where's the keys?
Well, you were just like, "Oh, I'll move the Jeep into we can see if we can push it, move the Jeep into position." I'm like, "I don't think Greg left the keys," and you were like, "There is no keys," and I'm like,
So what is it?
"Okay."
Just a switch and a button?
It's just an on-off switch,
On-off switch?
Oh.
and then
And then your starter's a button, or?
it's a 4-pedal.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's old school.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
a mechanical Bendix, and you jam the pedal and you gauge the Bendix and make an electrical contact all at the same time.
So you're
And
doing
away it
the job
goes.
of it's actually a solenoid.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually not that funny, but I'm best. But
You tried.
and you got to really give her too. Like there's no
Yeah.
gentle footing. It's
No,
like
you got to jam it,
commit.
or you hear some bad noises.
Mitch
yeah.
was really upset that he did that, by the way. He still has a lot of PTSD about it. He's really mad. He's just like, I can't believe Greg's never going to let me touch his stuff ever again. That was really cool. I hadn't learned about that before, so that was kind of interesting to know that. I hadn't really thought
And
much about it.
that'd be more with the military side of it, right? It's like you wouldn't want to have maybe another set of keys.
Oh, even that I had a 2000 military vehicle, year 2000, and it didn't have a key.
What
Nice.
was that?
An M1088.
Go on.
I say we used,
Stuart Stevenson.
so we need some history on that one,
Well,
because that was the one that you have the picture of a scout in it, right?
right.
Yeah.
Called it Garlou. I always wanted a 6x6. It was on my bucket list. So
Naturally, right?
I mean, it's a pretty cool thing to have on your bucket list.
So I bought it. I knew even when I bought it, I knew I couldn't afford to keep it.
I'm renting this.
Yeah. But it found a great home. It became an expedition vehicle.
Oh,
Oh,
amazing.
A lovely couple in Quebec bought it. Did a fantastic job. Did their own
Outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
So now
it's
what
going
was
soon.
They make great expedition vehicles, except for their top speed is a little low.
Yeah.
Like
So
highway
is it-
manners.
His name is Max. He's put in different gears.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the original ratio was, but I think he swapped in a 308. So considerably higher top
Yeah.
speed.
in 3 axles?
Yeah.
Oh boy! You imagine the first one, you're like, I nailed that. You know.
Yeah, he's a talented guy.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. I never even thought of that. You know, when we see the little Hinos or the Mitsubishi Fuzos and stuff,
Yeah.
then you say to yourself, "Oh man, that thing is cool." I don't think of it like I think about how we deal with 1-ton and smaller stuff, where you just go down to whatever your local parts distributor is. You get your gears, you get your lockers, you get your brakes, whatever. I think it's, if you go down to your local Freightliner or whoever it is, and you're like, I need gears for this Fuso, or I need gears for this this big truck you're talking about. Like, where would you even come across that?
International Harvester.
It was.
They're Meritor axles.
Oh.
So
Okay.
you can get parts for them through International.
And then depending on the application and the tire size, they'd have different gear ratios.
Right. So there's also a 2-to-1 reduction hub on those as well.
They must whine that above 70. if they can.
I never heard the hubs over the engine.
The sound of my people right beside
It
you.
wasn't a well insulated cab.
No.
It is now.
And it was a cab over, right?
Right.
Okay. 4 or 6-cylinder, something?
3216 cat with a 7-speed Allison.
32. I don't even know what that is. 3116, like 6.5 liters, 6.7 liters. So
It's
something like that. Eh?
7.2, 7 liter.
Wow.
That'd be a sturdy engine. That's like your dad's motorhome.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of snot.
So there was 3116, 3216. I
He
may
was
not
a
be
Huey,
exactly right. And then there was the C7, which is closely related.
The almighty C7. Yeah, that's cool. And you've had an M37, right? That's another thing.
Yeah.
Just can't get enough of this cool shit.
M37 Dodge. Yeah, and Defender 110 X
So before we
Uh,
kind of got into Jeeps, you were in.
British Forces.
And that was a good thing or a challenging thing?
No, I'd always wanted a Land Rover as well, and it was a big disappointment. Big disappointment.
Damn it.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate because they're so cool.
Solid axles, right?
Yeah, Salisbury's, which as far as I could tell looked like Dana 60s.
Okay.
Okay.
They've got to be based on the Dana architecture because it's hard to tell they weren't.
Striking.
I expected it would have lockers, but it was open front and rear.
Land
You know,
Rover.
had a 3.5 all aluminum V8.
Oh, okay.
So
Like turn.
based on the Buick Nailhead.
Oh,
Rover
nice.
bought that design decades ago.
Yeah, I think I just saw something the other day cool about them was they actually had 6 bolts, 6 studs holding this, like each cylinder. You know, and oftentimes they only have 4. They had like 6.
Uh,
So anyhow, just a side
Yeah.
bar. Not that important, but just something I seen.
yeah, parts were hard to get. That was big. That was a big thing, and expensive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you waited.
Oh jeez.
So
If
and-
you were across the pond, it might be a different
and
story.
the cab was tiny. I was
Oh, yeah?
I
Oh.
driving from here to Oshawa. My legs were cramped. My
Really?
my knees up around my ears. It was horrible.
Like,
There-
I like
there
this.
was
I
a-
like this. I like this.
There was a bulkhead directly behind the seat, so there was really nowhere for the seat to go.
What was,
Maybe up, I guess, but
what was the bulk? Oh, so was this a Defender? This was a 110 pickup then?
well, it was a soft top. Not necessarily a pickup. It was a troop carrier, I guess
Oh, okay.
they would have called it.
Oh, because I was just thinking about the bulkhead. Like, pardon me, that would limit your complete seat travel, right? Like you're
Right.
stuck.
So,
Right. And we're back. On that
And now I have
Horrible
beer.
side conversation. Anyways, so I asked a question when we were on break there, and I'm going to ask it again because I really want to know, and I feel everyone else would like to know. You've owned a wealth of different vehicles, and
Yeah.
cool vehicles at that. What was your favorite that you've owned?
1977 FJ45.
Oh, okay.
So I drove it a lot of years stock, and then I swapped. I did a diesel swap, and that was just through circumstances that I stumbled on a Isuzu diesel, a 6 BD1A, so 5.9 inline six, direct injection with glow plugs, which I think is kind of odd.
Little uncommon.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
It was a great engine. So when it all came apart for the engine swap, I did 4-wheel disc. I put a 60 series power steering system on it. Muncie Farmer 4-speed. It was a 435, I think. Muncie 435, SM 435. And then an early model Land Cruiser transfer case. The early model had a 2-to-1. The more recent was a 1.6. So
Ooh.
got a little deep there. Started off with 410 ring and pinion, and then eventually swapped to 373s.
You got to get a little more legs on the highway with that
Yeah.
504.
Yeah.
Especially with what a top RPM of like 2,800, 3,000.
Actually, I think it was 32, but I'm not certain.
Whoa, I didn't know you had a race engine.
Yeah.
That was
So,
awesome. Sturdy, strong, lots of torque. Eh?
Yeah, it's still going. My brother sent me a photo of it on Simcoe Street in Oshawa just this spring.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's
That's really
buyback
cool.
material.
Yeah. Oh,
I built
don't
this,
get
I
me
think-
started.
Yeah. I may lay awake at night
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
So then 45 is the pickup truck, obviously.
Yeah.
And you pretty much restored it, upgraded where you needed to, and obviously upgraded where you wanted to.
Yeah, it was a resto mod, but and I'm no body man.
Wow, who is like,
But I mean, I must have got it right. It's still on the road, and I've finished that swap in '97.
wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
You engineered a lot of the pieces because those were the pictures you brought over that one day, weren't
Yeah, yeah,
they? So you engineered different parts in it.
a lot of different parts. Like the place that I was at had a whole. Was always coming in with a government job, and the first day I drove it to work, one of the guys in the shop said, "Oh, now your truck's finished. I hope we don't have a layoff."
Yeah, because anytime they'd be slow and you know what guys can do, you're like, hey, by the way, cut this out for me. Hey, fix this up, will you? But it was cool, like when you came and you brought and you were showing us these pictures, it brings you right back to the moment. Okay? When you're like, oh yeah, I made this little plate. You can tell that I flame cut it. You know what I mean? Like you were there, you know, and that's the part that I really appreciate. And that's 97. That's a couple years ago.
Yeah, it took me 18 months.
That's not bad.
I'd say for-
That's really good.
That's really good.
For out of the box engine swap, I agree. That is really good.
Oh,
And
that's
now,
really good.
still open diffs, or did that have locking diffs?
No open diffs.
Again, you got to cut somewhere. Right?
Yeah.
So it had a light bar then?
you
Predates like.
No
I was
light bar.
gonna say a little bit too early for light bars.
know, KCs.
I was just saying there were KCs
Yeah.
at that point in time, so I mean
Yeah.
different kind of light bars, but
They were way cool.
Well, I did have halogen, 7-inch halogens.
Oh, well, there you go.
well there you
Were
go.
they-
So you
were-
kind of had a light bar
Yeah.
without the lockers. So I mean,
Was Hella the cat? Is that how they had like the little cat face on them? No, that was different again.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of piece.
I don't
These
know.
are German.
Yeah, no, I
That's all
think
know.
Hala did have the
'Cause I-
cat
Oh, did they?
To me,
on some of their lights.
Because
yeah.
that remind I don't know.
They're
that's-
dust covers, right?
I think so.
They had the cat logo.
You remember that stuff as a kid, right?
Yeah,
And you and
because I remember
similar, so
KC had like the smiley face.
sometimes a winky eye,
Yeah.
sometimes a tongue.
Yeah.
oh, I just remembered like KC.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
you don't remember the smiley face?
Well,
Like,
there
they
was
were
a-
yellow with the smiley face.
There was a
No.
fluorescent era where they had like highlighter yellow and pink and blue and chrome shocks and chrome springs and lots of chrome bumpers.
yeah, and
Oh,
chrome roll bar, like
That's right.
headache racks, and
Wow.
Yeah, that was in the early 90s, and I didn't think
Early
vehicles could
90s,
get
late
cooler
Oh
than
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And mini trucking was coming on, and convertible pickup trucks, and
yeah.
like dancing beds, and
Yeah.
oh man, we got to go back. That was great.
Like an old converter,
Yeah.
an old D100 with the top chopped off of it.
Like, that stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
I missed all that. I wasn't paying attention during those days.
Too focused.
Oh, you
I
missed-
was a kid and I didn't know most of those things, so.
No, see, that was right in my formative years of getting into automotive. So that's what I grew up loving, looking at in magazines.
Four-wheeler magazine and mini trucking.
Yeah.
Those are the magazines that I could read cover to cover.
Yeah, exactly, and basically looking at all the ads as well, and like, oh, lift kit for this vehicle that I don't have is only this much.
Yeah, $239.
Yeah.
What?
Really? Oh, it's just U-bolts and
Yeah,
I
that's hilarious.
remember the listings for the Dodge W series, like 1964 to 1981, 100, 200, 300. It's 6-inch lift is this part number.
What do you want?
Yeah.
So simple. Yeah, they didn't change too much. I think they had probably one of the longest runs. Like just after they got out of the Fargo years, and then right up until 93 in North America. I don't even know. Like I think you could probably gone even farther in different parts of the world.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But like it's a horrendously long run.
Yeah.
And they're still some of your favorites, right?
There, yeah, I'm a sucker.
When you think about a Cummins, you're like first gen.
Yeah, you're just like, well, we only have these years. No, we can go back. We can swap things in. I mean, there was quite a few trucks.
That's the problem with being a bit of a gearhead, is that every project can be better if you just put more time and money and effort into it.
I found a
Money
two-wheel-
being the big one. You kind of glazed over that.
That's the big part.
Yeah.
No, I remember when before we had kids, I saw it was a gas engine, but it was a dually. Had a flat deck on the back, and it was clean, and he wanted next to nothing for it. And I was just like, look, we can swap we have a truck, we have a spare truck, we can find a head for it. Let's just put this engine in, and then we'll find a trans for it. And you were just like, do you really need a truck? We have my truck now, so we don't really need it. And your dad's biggest thing when I was finding other trucks was, well, the axles, we'll have to upgrade the entire system. Then I'm like, we don't have to upgrade shit. Look, it's perfect. We just have to put the motor in. And you were just like, I don't know. Do we really need another project here? And I'm like, yes, we do.
So I see nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed.
In
It's
11 years.
Yeah. I would be, oh my goodness, we'd have a lot in our fleet.
Oh, look at this cheap Jeep. It only needs a front axle.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for a Comanche, and everyone I find, I send to him. When your friend had one of the Comanches, and Mitch went down and was looking through everything, I was like, did you see any Comanches? And he paused. I can't even address to you how long of a pause he did. And he was like, should I tell her? No, I shouldn't. Do I lie to her? That's kind of mean. And he's like, I saw one. I didn't really go take a look at it. What do you mean you didn't take a look at it? I'm like, go get it. No, do we really have room for a project right now? And I'm like, we can make room, dear. It'll be fine. Yeah, it didn't come.
And he was a salesman too. It's like, oh yeah, it's a 4-cylinder, 5-speed, 2-wheel drive, but
I just
I
want
got a
it.
Cherokee over there. You can have it with it. It's got an axle. It's got like he was a salesman. He's just like, you know what? You show an interest in this, therefore you need all of my Jeep things. It's like, what do you want? I can sell it to you.
I am going down to Texas probably again. So.
Oh, and you're going to be driving this time because flying is definitely out of the question.
Because fuck airports. Not even the flying. If I could fly without having to go to an airport, that'd be so great.
My boss's flight's delayed, by the way. She's in Texas right now, and her flight's delayed.
Oh, go figure.
Yeah, go figure, in Texas. So, but going back, I want to, so we were talking about gears, we were talking about some of the other vehicles you've driven. Mabel has interesting gears, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think they were so large, but they're actually pretty large considering the vehicle.
Well, the ratio is 538.
I was just saying, because you're running
Yeah.
the same gear ratio as I'm running in my Jeep.
Yeah, so 27 in the front and a 44 in the back.
Okay.
It's
And
a
they're
44
open.
rear?
Yeah, and they're open right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have a PTO attachment in it, right?
I do, yeah, so it has a winch, PTO driven front winch.
That is really, we have to try that one day. 'Cause
Yeah.
that looks
Yeah.
really cool to
What
try.
else can you hook up to the PTO?
Yeah.
Like, hydraulic pump.
They have all sorts of really cool attachments.
Well, it does have a flange on the rear as well.
Yeah.
So the front flange is used, but there's a open flange on the back.
Okay, so we'll have to think of something for
Oh, we'll have to think of something really cool.
backhoe attachment so you can push yourself out.
Oh,
Oh,
there
you just
you
kind
go.
of flick,
Yeah.
flick.
Yeah,
Well, that would be cool.
that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. It'd be kind of interesting driving down the trails, though, until you actually needed
Well,
it.
I know, yeah, I know.
I don't know why it's so heavy in the back.
Yeah, like
Just wheeling
something
it
like
most
the
of the way.
Fuel pump packs it in.
I was just gonna say, so we should. I hope this doesn't hurt too much. We should talk about what happened on the trail. So we did have. So after your favorite obstacle, we did have Mabel had some. She got really excited, and she needed a rest.
Just twist the knife.
Yeah, she's still resting.
She's still well.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't that you ran out of gas. I do have to admit, I had a good snicker about that one.
Yeah.
Like almost to laugh out loud. You're just like,
I was laughing.
Honestly, well, I thought, I took the cap off, which is about this big around, and I looked in there and I gave it a shake and I couldn't hear anything. This was this morning. Oh no, don't tell me. Don't tell me the fuel gauge is stuck on 3/4. So I dumped in 10 liters and tried it, and thankfully there was still no fuel.
That's the only time you're going to be thankful it didn't start.
If that had been the problem, you would have not known about it.
What happened to Mabel? I don't know. I just I cleaned out the
must have
filter and
been a
everything.
vapor log.
Replace the filter, rebuild the fuel pump.
It lost prime. I don't know what happened. It's weird.
But yeah,
so you figure maybe like the diaphragm or something's gone?
yeah. There's a rebuild kit for it. So
I was saying because you did say you ordered a rebuild kit.
I will
today.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And there's a cylinder that slides over the fuel pickup and the filter type thing. So
No.
I'll get one of those and change it as well.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe just with the articulation and everything like that, you kind of slushed up maybe something in the bottom of the tank that kind of clogged the filter, or?
I can't imagine that it would just suddenly clog so badly that nothing is getting through. So I think it's a fuel pump.
Okay.
But it's also a vacuum pump. So it's a big complex looking thing.
Oh, so it doesn't run on a finger like a cam? It actually runs on vacuum?
No, it does run on the cam, but it produces vacuum to run the wipers.
Oh, lovely.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Wow, eh?
Huh.
So yeah, that's an example of one thing doing two jobs. And when everything's tickety-boo, it's a great idea, great engineering.
Yeah.
And then when one thing fails, take something else out.
It's a good thing it wasn't raining when we towed it out.
Yeah. You'd be reaching around. Which they did have. I learned a bit of trivia. You'll have to check out that book after 1001 Facts because, oh man, it's good. For the longest time, they had it where like the driver's side had a power mirror, a power wiper, and then the passenger had a hand cranking wiper.
That's really cool.
Both of mine have overrides with little handles.
Really?
Yeah, so you can.
Wow. So when that part
In
fails,
case you lose vacuum.
That's right. Well, and I didn't realize till I was researching fuel pumps this morning that there was a vacuum pump on it. I figured it was manifold vacuum, and they had the handle on there because you wouldn't have any vacuum because you're full throttle most of the time.
yeah. What do you know? That's a good point.
You can't go uphill in the rain.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Just lean your head out.
We were having a discussion earlier today about what's the voltage is, because you were thinking 6-volt, weren't you, today?
Based solely on how it started. That's all I was thinking.
It's 24 volt.
Oh.
Oh wow.
It's NATO voltage.
Okay.
So it has a port on the side, which all NATO spec equipment has, so that you can connect in, I guess it would be parallel
Okay.
with, and 6 Jeeps could boost a tank or something like that.
Oh wow. I don't think about that.
Now
but
that you
that's-
mention it, it makes perfect sense.
I know, but you don't
Like,
think about that,
Yeah,
you know.
so
Because we didn't even consider boosting it, right? Like, it was all about either bump starting or just give you a tagline start.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because could you even do it? Because you'd be robbing the system of voltage if we gave you 12 volts from a vehicle, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how you'd
Because everything's probably looking for the correct voltage.
Would you be able to hook up two vehicles in series?
I was just saying series with that
I
works.
don't know.
We
We'd
don't
screw up the vehicles.
We'd have to
You
take
have
the
to take
batteries
the
out.
batteries out,
yeah. Because the
Are we
computers might
welding
not like
or are
that.
we-
You need 2 sets of booster cables.
Yeah.
This would be a fun little project. Wow, sorry.
No, maybe not. Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
need 2 sets to
Yeah.
hook 2
Yeah.
At
batteries
least
up in
somebody with some
series.
wet fingers.
Yeah.
Not funny.
Total
yeah, so
side
that's-
note, have you
They
guys
get a
seen?
little warm.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
There was a movie and it was an old submarine, and that's what the guy did. He went to go grab the 2 wires and they were short. And he's like, and held them. He's like, it just tickles. That's okay. Try it now. So that's all I can think of just then. It was just like, oh, it tickles.
Right across the heart. Great place to tickle it.
Yeah.
But it always says turn over slowly.
Just the way it is.
Yeah.
You think 24 would be like,
Well, I guess I don't know. I'm not an electrical guy.
But it also has
But,
all those stickers in the, or I guess not stickers, all those signs in the front that says, like shut off all the systems before starting it.
Yeah, all of the instructions, the placard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And-
maybe
Instructions about fording and all of those sorts
I
of
enjoyed it
things.
when we took it that little bit when was my first drive in it? When we went around the block and we went over here, and that was a lot of fun. I was really enjoying. We had the kids in the back and they were losing their marbles, but it was cool to
best
see.
day every day.
It was super cool, but it was really cool to see the interior because I hadn't sat in it before. That was my first time really sitting in it and taking a look at it. And it was cool to see all the gauges because you have quite a few in there, and like all the little signs and how everything was meaning, and like it was really cool. It was a really cool experience. I think if anyone has the opportunity to sit in a Jeep like yours, do it.
Yeah.
It's such a departure. Like you jump out of a JK, never mind a JL. You jump out of a JK and you jump back in time. That's exactly what it is. Eh? It gives you the proper Jeep experience.
Yeah.
We talked about it not needing keys. It's kind of funny. I'll go to the grocery store, and I'll be leaving the grocery store, and I'll go, where's my key? Oh, I
Oh, I got Mabel.
I got Mabel.
Hey, never fails, eh?
I do love seeing her around town because the boys and we can pick her up from a mile away, and the kids absolutely love seeing your Jeep. So
Well, that's the only one in town. Right?
there is one
Is
similar.
there another similar one?
Because Mitch and I saw one years ago at a car show locally. Because remember, she was very upset that you knew that it had a PTO attachment.
So there was 2. Remember there was that Willie's pickup or Willis, whatever.
Yeah, there was a
There
Willys
was the
pickup.
copper one, and it had a PTO in the back, and we had that discussion. And
But there was, I swear there was another.
I don't know if it was exactly
Years ago, I did see a flat fender running around.
flat fender.
Because
It
I
had
have
the-
a
had the
picture
sisal
of
rope
one.
on the
I,
front.
Yes.
I so want a flat fender, but
I was just saying, because I have a picture of that one.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I remember, I'm like, I have a picture of an old Jeep. I should look back and make sure I didn't take a picture of Greg's Jeep years ago.
Would have been hilarious.
And like without knowing you, like I've taken a picture of your Jeep, but I didn't know it was you. So
Previous
I was
owner?
searching through it. I was like, okay, no, it wasn't him, because that would just have been. I was taking pictures of your Jeep when you weren't in it. Just make things a little bit awkward, but
Yeah, that's back when we used to do the classics on Kent and stuff.
yeah, that was.
is it coming back this year?
It is
Yeah.
coming back this year. Are you going to go in it?
I am. I'm enrolled.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Perfect.
We can take
Money.
pictures of your Jeep with you in it.
Yeah.
Take a video with the MASH music playing. Are you gonna have the MASH music playing?
Probably.
I
It
love
is
the
pretty
fact that
classic.
you
So
have
yeah,
that.
every time he goes to a show, you have a whole setup, right, and the MASH music playing on repeat, and it's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I say we did that parade in through the fairgrounds at the beginning of the year for the Lindsay Fair, and yeah, you had the Suicide is Painless, the MASH entrance, and I love it. So it's classic. I like it.
You even
Nice.
picked up some travelers, eh? Some folks that are like, Greg.
Well, that was quite bizarre because I was like, dude, does he know these people? Why are they getting in his Jeep?
my nephews.
Free Jeep rides.
I thought that was pretty entertaining, but
Yeah,
That
nobody
was-
runs out of the woodwork to jump in my Jeep. So that says right there, yeah. It's cool.
We had kids waving at us today, though.
we usually do have people wait.
Well, no, on the when we were coming out of where we went on that one back road coming out to 35, there's a couple of kids playing in the yard, and we went by. We were going a reasonable speed. No, we were doing like 40 or 50. I think it was at the top
Okay,
of
I was
the
just
hill.
saying because I thought you were gonna trash talk me here.
No,
There was
it
a
was
very-
it was at the top of the hill, so I almost had to push you. But they were waving. Yeah.
We're on a very hilly area, and my Jeep doesn't do very well on hills, and every shift's a cliffhanger, so I'm trying to hold it in certain gear. So if I saw a hill, I would cut it and I would take off away from Nick because I'm like, I know by the time I reach the top, I'm not going to make it.
Oh yeah, I'm doing a constant speed all the way up. Like you take off, I'm just keep going my speed, keep going the same speed, coming up the hill, crest the hill, and I'm riding your bumper.
Yeah, because you try to do third gear lock.
I try to do third gear locked if I can.
Yeah,
Like if it was a standard transmission, it would be a completely different animal because you could actually pick the gear that you
yeah,
want.
it'd be your choice.
Yes, well, Jeepers has a mind of her own, and she tells me what she wants, and it's the wrong decisions. She's a bit senile in her old age, and
Yeah, we're past fuel economy. We don't need to just overdrive
I don't care
at
about
60K.
fuel economy. I just want her to not
There's no
die.
manually selected.
First, second, and that's it.
Huh.
So, like when we're on trails, usually if we're going up an obstacle, we feel a little tiny bit of rattle will hit first. But I was in too low all day today.
Oh yeah, I was too high.
Well, I put it in too low because it was just easy to, when we went up a couple of the rock faces really slowly while I was creeping, while we were cleaning, right? So it was easy to just leave it in too low and just.
Love how
let
you
it
just
be.
say, yeah, I was in too low, like you got some sort of cool fucking transfer.
No, I don't.
Really, you just didn't turn the hubs.
Realistically, I didn't.
Counted.
notice that.
Yeah.
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
oh,
No,
sweet.
I wish.
Twin
I
stick
wish my
shifting.
that would be really nice. But you have a
Yeah.
twin shit. You have a twin stick, but you haven't done a front dig, which makes me mildly sad.
We can do it anytime you want to work on it.
Sounds good. Yeah. Well,
I
she's
dig a
on.
30, a little bit wider than normal. Fresh set of MTRs. Oh yeah,
We'll put some.
bring it on.
We'll make sure it's like a standing, easy.
Snap.
area.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the locker says, "Oh, we snapped one. You know what? We got the other."
Yeah.
You're so good.
Oh, and then you're riding out on a couple of logs to keep the front axle out of the dirt.
That'd be cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, I do have the hubs, so you can.
Oh, so that
Yeah.
So it's snap, snap. Oh, I got a cast.
Yeah, okay.
But we do have extra 30s. We ended up Dana 300s. We did end up picking up a couple scrap ones. So if there's ever a time where you're like, you know what, I want to have a leaky transfer case that I flipped over for no reason and some loose sticks.
Leaky transfer case.
So, but they're 263. So it's like you can already appreciate one more revolution just for low range. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I cannot believe a 1.6 is a thing in Toyota land and an early Jeep land.
GM, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because I remember the
early
20
GMs are.
Because 205s, I don't remember 203s, but I know 205s, they were like a 199. Just crazy.
I was doing some when I was down in Texas. I had some downtime, so I was looking at just a list of transfer cases and had all their gear ratios, and I think
Really?
low range and
It's very gearheady stuff, eh?
I think Nick's looking at he's just like, how could I put tons in an engine swap in my Jeep without Sarah and Mitch knowing?
no, I was just seeing if there's any other transfer case that was 4-to-1 like the Rubicon case,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
straight from the factory, but I didn't see any.
No.
But I'm pretty sure there was. I want to say it was a new process, but I can't remember now. But it was like 1.6, 1.8, something
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just in we're so accustomed to 272 that just to hear about that, it sounds preposterous.
Yeah.
You know, and then like when we're out on the trails and you hear the JLs, the fully loaded JL, 272 to 1, and you're like, hey man, are you in low range? You know,
Oh,
it's just
it's
like,
bad.
it sounds like it's working, right? And it's just the way it is.
Even
So-
some TJs though, because Cheryl's, you hear it a lot. It always sounds like it's in 4 high. The transfer case always seems to make that sound. She's like, no, it's in 4 low. Like it has definitely a different sound.
Is it a
Yeah.
slippy torque converter?
I haven't driven it enough to know.
True. Or carry just gas it, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Point A to point B. That's what she
Yeah.
does. But. So do you think you'll be out on the trails with us again? I think that you don't like water. You don't want to play in water with Mabel.
Well, I just don't. For a 1 hour trail ride, spending 8 hours pulling drum brakes apart, cleaning the sand out of them.
That's fair.
But where we went today would be perfect for you.
It would
That'd
be.
be such a nice drive through there.
Oh, a turkey
But,
shoot.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the first day ever I've been towed out of a trail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm feeling kind of defeated.
Yeah, it's like
Well, I
that,
can only get
like that meme, eh, with the guy at the hangman's gallows.
Oh yeah, first time.
First time.
Oh shoot! What movie was that from? That was hilarious.
Oh, we butter.
Cause was it that time that he actually got dropped?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Sounds
But he has this like
Mabel
shit eating grin on his
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
It's like,
It was the Chronicles of something. 'Cause it
Oh,
was
really?
a bunch of like mini stories. And
Oh.
yeah, the guy had escaped.
Oh, Buster.
Yeah, Buster.
Scruggs.
Oh,
Yes,
Buster-
Buster Scruggs.
yeah,
there you
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
see, we
So,
can
see,
remember
we
everything.
all
before
work
we
all
do.
together and
Yeah.
usually get
Yeah,
it.
that's
So
fair.
usually I'm pretty good with movie titles. That was bad.
But I would think that you would love the second part of this trail that we're on. So the first part we did all the cleaning on today. We trimmed back some of the brush and the scrub and stuff. And then when we got out on, I forget what that road was that we took.
Ballyduff.
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 And
Ballyduff.
it's all this like a lot of boulders.
Let's
like
say Riverstone.
Yeah,
kinda.
it's on top of an esker, so you're going down the side of an esker, so it's all that graduated stone.
and then it just kind of washed out a little bit,
Yeah.
and you're kind of like,
Yeah, and then you're going through, and then it's a nice deep cut, and you got, I don't know, what
It
did you
was
say,
really
10-foot banks?
Absolutely on the one
Your
side.
10-foot banks, yeah, because they're taller than the Jeep, and then so the trees start 10 feet above you.
It was really
Yeah.
cool.
great pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then part of it, like there's a man-made dam on holding back some water out of rocks.
That was
Which
really
we both commented on. We
Yeah.
stopped and we are like, whoa, what is this? I didn't even know about the water until you're like, it's holding back a freaking
Yeah.
moat.
Yeah.
So it was cool, man. And again, nothing more than tire deep, like the lower tread.
Yeah, no, nothing. Like no problem.
Oh, it was just a couple of like tiny.
And that's just
puddles.
because it was wet this weekend. If it
Yeah.
was a dry weekend, there'd be nothing.
Yeah.
And not terribly far. The only thing we were trying to think about how you could drive there from here.
But you could take
I
some
don't know
back
what
roads.
Ballyduff is.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd have to go down 35, or you could go down 35 to Lingham, or even Mount Horeb,
I was
because
just
there's
saying Mount
another.
Horeb and weed
Yeah, if
through.
you Mount Horeb and then down St. Mary's to
Hmm.
Yeah, weed
whatever.
through.
yeah.
One of your issues you said was the seal that you had issues with that you
Front
were concerned
pinion.
about.
Yeah, front pinion needs to be replaced. I
And
have it.
What was it made out of? Because this was the one that you have the issue with, right? The one that leaks. Did you say it was made out of leather?
I don't think so.
Which was the one that was made out of a different material?
the rear main seal on the engine.
The rear. Okay.
That's a rope seal.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
there was a seal. I
That
could
sounds
remember
very
which one it
sealed.
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, because it'll be when it swells, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it leaks,
It just
every
it
spring.
weeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It leaks every spring.
And it would
And-
weep throughout the year because it's.
Yeah.
But once it
Yeah.
swells, it's good.
It's probably
It's like an
slowed
old
to a
plywood
trickle by
boat.
now. It's had
Yeah.
a few hours on it. But
Yeah.
that's how you know it still has oil in it.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
You
Well,
don't-
it's
check
not
the oil?
dripping anymore.
yeah,
She marks her
Oh, there's
territory.
there's nothing underneath it but it tops something up.
Yeah.
That was Mater, right?
Yeah, if it ain't got oil under them, ain't got oil. No, ain't got oil in them. That
That's
was
right.
Tomater.
It was talking about the British engines. And I was
Yes.
like, ooh, that's harsh. But then Axelrod was trying to take over the world. So
Yeah, so there was that little factoid. So I mean, like Mater probably did have his stuff in gear, but
And so how long did you have the M37?
Not very long.
That was another one that was a flash in the pan.
It wasn't quite it wasn't a good fit for me.
No,
Yeah, it was a little too big and pretty underpowered and very thirsty.
really.
Yeah.
Flathead
So-
6, right?
Yeah, 251 cubic inch, I think, or 250,
Okay.
something like that.
And then would it be a similar
Flathead
size
crasher.
tram, like with a 3 or 4 speed?
It was a farmer 4-speed. I don't know what it was. I think it was a Dana 200
Transfer
transfer
case?
case.
Gotcha.
The tranny, I don't know. It might have been a new process 420 or something. I don't really know.
Sure.
Big. I think there were Chrysler corporate diffs in it. Pretty big. Judging by the pumpkin, somewhere in the 9-inch
just-
range.
Gargantuanly heavy drums on it.
Yeah.
This sounds very much like the Gladiators that came after.
And they had a reputation for not having great axles either. Strong axles.
Oh.
I think they.
Like maybe a
From a-
big coarse spline, maybe?
I don't know if maybe they were cast, not forged, or something crazy.
Great.
But
he just doesn't like putting good axles on things.
I think
They're like
it's
they
all
hold
about,
all the cards for themselves. They're like, you can have a little bit.
yeah, it must be all just about dollars and cents, eh? If they could save a couple bucks here and there, and they think, well, no one's ever going to use these things hard. Oh,
Yeah.
I say we've seen
Well,
a couple of 35s. Just
Yeah. Everything was underpowered then too. I mean,
Yeah.
with that kind of wimpy horsepower, you have to be doing something really.
true. Like that great big 6, like flathead, it'd be lucky if it made 75, 80 horse, eh?
Yeah, it dragged down on the hills a lot.
Yeah.
But a big tire, 916 on it.
What would you say that kind of measures out to? Like a 34?
Oh, I don't know.
But they felt pretty tall the way.
Yeah, 33 maybe.
And everything's heavy, right? The split rim, maybe even at that point.
Yeah,
Danger rim,
Cool.
Danger Dan.
I was just saying, like, that sounds. Oh.
split rims with tubes.
Okay, yeah. So fairly heavy truck considering what it was.
Yeah, I put locking hubs in it.
How did it drive
Didn't
down
have
the
one of
road? Was it like with the tubes and everything like that? Did you find it like just a bear to drive, or?
Oh, it drove like any other old 4x4.
So-
Slow and
Yeah.
wandery.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't find it.
Yeah.
Its road manners horrible,
Yeah, you had to drive it, but yeah.
but it didn't like to go fast either.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there, Greg.
Yeah. Yeah. But if I wanted to go fast, I'd choose something else.
Yeah, so I got somewhere else to be.
I had no expectations of being fast.
True.
That's me in the Jeep. I have absolutely no expectations of being fast. Is that the one hill out of Omimi? Or the one coming out of Fowler's Corners? You were following me home in the truck and you were just like, and I'm like, I've turned off the heat, everything's diverted to the engine, we can do it! And you're like, do you need me to start pushing you? Maybe, okay?
Now, to give some context, though, like, you are thinking about the transmission. Like, you're not like,
Oh,
you don't just mat it everywhere you go.
No, I drive it to make sure I can keep it locked in certain gears, but
Try to be nice to it.
no, I'll try. There are days.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll have a manual. Maybe one day there'll be a diesel.
One day it'll be both.
6BT.
Yes.
6BTs are cheaper than 4s, and I don't get it. But
Yeah, yeah.
His biggest argument to me, because I've been trying to get a 12
Unless you
valve.
can find a scrapped out skid steer or something.
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Or generator.
Yeah, water pump.
But I was just saying, do the
Yeah.
pumps and everything like that, though, and to make it actually roadworthy is it's a bit of an undertaking. It's not just a simple
Yeah,
swap.
but
The
if you
six-
could pick
6BT
one
is so
up from-
heavy though.
If you could pick one up from
Yeah,
auction
it's,
though, like I'll watch auctions for you. If you can pick one up from auction
If you're
for
down,
like $100.
so there's a lot of people that can recognize them. They're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, Cummins. What's special about that? Oh yeah, that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
So, but if
People
you're
see
an
the
American,
C word and they're just like, that's an expensive engine, so.
and they just gotta have it
Yeah, I'll just
It's worth $1,000 as a core.
because
Yeah.
the 4BTs they're 700-ish pounds, and then the 6BT 1,100 pounds. Like that's
I
carrying a lot
have
of weight.
the axles to do it.
But you know what's great about the 6BT with the right tune? It carries its own weight under acceleration. We know that for a fact. So it is what it is.
Well, for a crawler, it's all right, but
yeah.
for a bogger, kind of
Oh, you're finding the bottom, I bet.
yeah. Yeah.
His biggest thing of why I couldn't have a 12 valve in my Jeep was because my axles wouldn't support it. Because I've been wanting a 12 valve pretty much since we've got the Jeep. I've been wanting an engine swap in it.
You wanted more zip, and then
I wanted a little bit more zip, and that was when she still had
Never
baby.
big enough for it.
Never big enough. No, I am.
I'm a 3BT, not even a 4BT.
Well, but the other day I was just like, I'm like, babe, the springs have really settled. Like, we should have gone for a 5-6 inch, and you were just like, we could put pucks in and make it a 6-inch lift, and I was like, oh, we have pucks, and I'm like, we should do that this weekend.
Oh no! Don't stack lifts. don't get into that.
I put heels on my stilts, eh?
Yeah.
She's settled a little bit, and you know what's crazy though is you don't think I look at her now and she doesn't look tall to me. She doesn't look big.
It's fine. It's fine. Like you go any taller, I'll need a friggin' ladder to get into it.
So,
Sure.
well, I do love your dad noises. We try and get in my Jeep. But no, when Willie was here, when he had a sleepover,
Yeah.
when we were waiting for the...
I know, mine looks like a little wee baby.
Well, I didn't really think about it until we backed my Jeep up against
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and I was like, Oh shit! I'm like a foot all taller than him.
Well, don't forget there's a little bit of that dip in the driveway where Willie was being worked on.
I'm trying
and
to
then-
really make Nick feel good here.
Well,
No, the picture you took of me today, it's like, I'm a little baby.
I
There's
was just
mama.
like exactly. It was just like the mama looks after her baby cheeks.
Yeah.
The baby
Weird.
huddles close to the mother.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't the caption.
I should
Weird.
capture
It's
that.
gonna be now.
Well, we were joking then. You're saying you're drafting the bigger Jeep and you got like 80 plus more horsepower.
Yeah,
And it's like, wait a minute, here's a little sports car.
yeah. I'm available for the push if you need it.
Bump draft.
You said you were gonna push me a little.
If
bit.
I had a Stinger and you had like the spare tire cage,
The basket, yeah.
yeah, the basket, I was gonna just not bump, but like touch.
Nuzzle.
Yeah,
See, right now though, you'd be like,
I know. Like your
Aw.
bumper would be going into my grill, so I don't even do it.
Yeah.
you have the XJ on the grill, you just wanted a JK on
Yeah.
this. I'd be like, look, these, oh god.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Fucking
Look at
Temp
these.
Bros.
I was just saying, the Tempos are
Pretty
just
hard
fucking
on
up my
equipment
grill
over
pretty
here,
hard. No, one day we'll do an engine swap in mind. Do you have any aspirations to do any different mods to your Jeep? Like, I know you sent me a list of just like, we should do everything to Mabel. I'm ready to, let's just, screw it.
No, I was just kidding.
Because you do go to ORV show?
Military vehicle shows.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you do those, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Imagine the looks when someone's like, oh, you know what, your tires have some rock rash. Yeah, they earned that.
Yeah.
Like not in,
Yeah.
not like years ago. Like these were last weekend.
That's right.
do you think you'll ever take Mabel off-roading? I think you need
I
to.
will.
You
Yeah.
need to get back out to Gooderham. You need to. You need to get that one.
Yeah.
The Conquer.
Get back on the horse.
I did
Yeah.
Forest after I broke, so you have to face those fears.
I was gonna say like shakes, eh? That was
That
one of
ledge,
those things.
that ledge. Every time I'm just like, oh shit.
I was just grateful that it didn't quit on that hill, because backing down it would have been scary.
Yeah, I could have gave you a little yanko because I was ahead, right? We were ahead, so.
I was
big deal.
doing interpretive dances with bugs,
Hmm.
so
The bugs are bad.
The bugs were
they can only
absolutely
get better.
That's why I'm scratching my arm so much, because I had a lot of mosquito bites.
Yeah.
you were definitely equipped with your little like mask thing going on. I
It's
saw
good
one.
for bugs and dust.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
I
saw.
have a dozen of them.
Nice. There was one of the ladies on the board. She has like the sun hats, and it has the full like bug mesh.
Oh, the bug hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Greg needs that. You need like the full hand gloves almost. My gosh, the bugs are terrible.
That was one of the first things you mentioned. You're like, hey, anybody got a bug hat?
Yeah. I
Shoot,
intended to
I-
bring mine, but it was in the trunk of the ATV.
The kids, the kids would have benefited from that.
The
If
kids
we
would have
ever-
benefited not playing in the dirt, running around, but like, hey, you know what? I'm getting hot, so I just take my shirt off and be eaten alive.
You know all the minerals that's in like this grit or the granite
Yeah.
or whatever?
Yeah.
Today when I was drying out their pants or when you threw their pants out, I'm like, look at all the sparkly sand. Like, man, children. And like they brought that back with them. That's crazy.
My youngest sits there and watches the bug bites him. He's like, ow, it really hurts. And I'm like, slap it.
Yeah, he would be a bug netty. Like if we ever ran
Yeah.
the tube doors and it ran the bug nets, that's what we'd have to do. But your
We should get those
tires,
things that like slip over. Well, we need to put the air conditioning back in the Jeep. It was nice riding with you because
Oh yeah, because I had my AC going.
Mabel and you disappeared because I was taking videos of everybody and I was like, oh, and I'm like, they're still going. The line's moving, and you're like, would you like a ride? Yes, please.
yeah, not many choices.
Yeah, hop in and ooh, it's cold.
Yeah. You got a sweater, Nick? It's
I'm so brisk.
And
Oh,
you know
no,
what's
there was-
nice too with the AC, you put it on the vent, and then you can have the windows down because it blows the bugs away from you.
There you go.
Oh,
We do have to sort out the HVAC system because mine is blowing hot air right now. So
yeah. Changing the little, the motor for the blend door, change the heat. Well, when we were hanging out at the whatever, airing up, and you said, hey, let's have a look at this, and we pulled the cover off, part of the dash, and you can see it. There's this little motor or whatever, and then it has this little finger, blah, blah, and it kind of, steps and changes the blend door. Well, you change it, and the motor doesn't even try. And the thing is, we bought a couple of them from the everything store now, and you were saying that we may even bought a half decent one last time.
I'm pretty sure we bought Mopar last time.
And it's still craft the bed like what? Not even 6-8 months later. Like that's crazy.
Is there a way that you could hook a cable up to it, run it up, and have just summer, winter.
So what I do is I just actually pull the panel and I flip it myself.
Yeah.
You do it, you turn it. We just kind of like flip the blend door over so it's cold. But
Yeah, so it has a little finger, so you just pop the finger, and then you can just drop the door down for cold, and then if it's hot, you just jam a tissue.
Yeah.
And if it's an Ardbeg, you end up sweating because the morning was cold and the afternoon was hot.
cheap things. Cheap
Yeah.
things.
Well, if it's summertime, you put a sweater on, and then whenever it heats up, that
I
way.
think you're right, but I think in the only defense that we have was I think it was misty, because that was that year we parked on the beach.
Oh.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Crazy at night. A lot of people ripping and stuff.
Actually, you know who would do really well at Ardbeg would be you.
There's no
It's
water.
drier.
There's no water.
Yeah.
There you go. You should come to Ardbeg with us.
Are you
It's
much of a camper?
Mabel.
No.
Me, neither.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
That's what my Holiday Inn points are for.
rocking at the Holiday Inn. No, good for you. Yeah, because I think there's Little Red and Trooper, they're talking about not camping. They're talking about using hotel points in
Yeah.
Parry Sound.
Yeah,
So-
I think we have Nightmares coming.
And do you think they'll do one night?
I have no idea what they're doing.
I guess it all depends, right? Because 2 nights was too much. It was like for the amount of time we got actually on the trails versus the amount of time we spent at the hotel, it didn't really seem worth it.
Sunday night we could have came, or Saturday night we could have ran home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you left, and I was like,
Yeah, I
it's
just
still
came for the
early.
day.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
like, it's still early enough. We could have packed up the kids. We'd already paid for the night, and we're like,
Yeah.
oh, screw it, let's stay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
Ardbeg is. Have you seen photos of Scotch Line? Us doing Scotch Line?
I'm sure I have. They don't.
It's a hydro cut. Ardbeg is, and where on Scotch Line you have lots of water. You have like you'll rock down into a forest where it's wet. You don't have that on Ardbeg. It's just rocks for days. And there's the river, or sorry, there's a couple of lakes, but you don't drive through them unless you feel like
No,
it.
and
Unless you're
any
full.
water that is there, you can go around.
Absolutely. Like there's nothing that you actually have to drive through.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to bring the bike up, the quad, up to Scotch Line when we go up there, because we'll probably go up there next little
Absolutely.
bit.
I was just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to
That'll
plan out our next run. We
'Cause
have
then
our
you can
first run in
see,
the books, then we gotta
not
get to the
see
next one.
anything, but you can experience what. Well, that's a pretty common. That's one of our favorites. Is that Scotch?
I like
Line.
Scotch Line because you can make it as hard as you want, or you can make it as easy as you want. You can take newbies out there that have never been, and it's not traumatic for them, or I can take my 1-ton JK and I can push it to its limits.
Yeah, we can spin tires going up the rock face.
Yeah.
Or
And
we can see
obstacles
a
where you're
Hemi,
sitting there thinking, oh yeah.
Hemi-powered Rubicon manual, and the guy's like, "Hey Sarah, watch this. I make you my wife." Brap! And he's like, "You leave, husband." Brap!
Break the Jeep.
And it sounded great because the Hemis, if I'm not mistaken, is the same fire and order as the old 350 Chev, whatever that may be. So it has that nice burbly sound, and then just off she goes.
I say he got some air on that front end.
Stock
pretty
Ruby
intense.
axles, we know they can take it
For a little bit.
Apparently.
for a little bit.
I would say
Was it
snazza
a
or
392? The big one?
No, it was just a 5.7.
Yeah, no, it was a swap job.
Oh,
Ciota, she launched it.
In that whatever.
Yeah, and that one park, she got
Oh,
some
yeah.
air, and
Yeah.
so yeah, we know 44s can take at least one launch.
And that's JL44 with the CAD. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, because that's where they'll snap both the housing, or actually, you know what? I haven't heard of anything where the collar, like my Cummins would have, or YJs would have, Cherokees would have, where it's like you have the 2 core spline and they're like supported by bearings, and there's like little collar slides back and forth to kind of disengage the front axle. Well, or half of the
Possibly
axle.
locked.
Yeah, possibly locked. Well, they have that, but it's electronic now. So when you're putting a lift kit in it, as we learned, you have to actually pull that clip out and pull these all the way to flex it out. So
I had to pull the cover, and we pushed the sleeve over, and we zip tied it so it had to stay on, so we could drive it out when I popped the drive shaft.
Oh,
on
yeah,
YJ.
yeah, no. That's not what I was laughing at.
I
But
knew what
anyways,
you were laughing
yeah.
at. And
Quiet.
You say I have the dirty mind, and I'm the offside one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I thought JK44s were bad for smiling if you launched them too much.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you launch anything hard enough, it's gonna
Well,
smile
I mean-
at you. So.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's incredible. Like, you say to yourself, okay, a 35 in your mind doesn't really seem like that big of a tire. But then you take a shaft. I don't even know how big you would even say these shafts are. And you say that shaft's got to propel that big-ass tire.
Yeah.
And then it's held inside of a tube that's not that very big. And then it's maybe quarter wall or whatever metric version of the quarter wall is.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, you launch it under
Yeah.
power.
We.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
I just
Where they snap at the housing, cast housing spigots snap off.
I don't even know it. I think they because they were talking about even the big axles bending if you launch them.
Well. Yeah.
But then you're carrying more weight.
Yeah.
And you're like, I have a 1-ton axle, therefore I need big V8 power.
That's when you start getting into like buggies and shit, and that's like you shouldn't be doing that with a full body. Like that kind of wheeling is not made for a full body.
No, because you'll learn.
Yeah.
And imagine once you've caved in most of the body, it's all cut away.
Exactly.
Boat sides, bobtail, boat front tail, all that other stuff.
yeah.
Or just a full tube chassis, no,
Not
maybe
ready
some
for
door
that yet.
panels.
No, there was some kind of a post I seen that actually was today. The guy had a YJ, and he had Waggy 44s originally. And now you look at it, and it's a complete tube chassis, this, that, and the other, and it had the solid axles in it. And you're just like, yeah, 1 tons. That's the natural progression. And like you said, massive V8 center mounted. It never ends. So anyhow, so where are we sitting? Do we have any more projects to talk about?
I was just saying because you built the trailer.
Yeah,
What
built a
is-
trailer this winter.
What's the next project? Like, there's nothing in the garage right now. What is?
Oh, yeah.
Supercharged F-head.
Yeah,
Oh my
the,
God.
Saying a supercharged F-head. Oh my goodness.
Well, if I was serious about wheeling, I might like to put some high alloy front axles in it,
Okay.
but I'm not going to do that.
At least at the military exam.
Yeah.
Well, you did say there was we do.
That's why you get a
There-
second one.
I think there is a
to-
kit.
Oh, there you go.
There's a lower low range kit for the transfer case as well,
That's cool.
That'd be neat.
and lockers will be fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then just there's a real trend on YouTube at the moment. There's all this old school stock looking stuff. The 716 tires, and so that intrigues me.
Because
they do some pretty serious wheeling on stock frames, but
Yeah.
disc brakes and those other mods
Yeah,
that I just
yeah.
talked
Yeah.
about. And most of them are running stock engines too, either the Go Devil or the
Okay.
Hurricane.
Yeah.
Because I remember hearing about runs where the guys, it's a Go Devil run. You have to have a Go Devil to do it, whatever that may be. If
There's
it's a
some
Will's pickup or if it's
Cool
the
runs down in the States. That
Oh,
do
I
that.
love watching those, like when they're in Moab or.
And they just oh my gosh, they are so cool to see.
Yeah. Because they're going up things and not having a problem.
Right? And they just make everything look so
Like it looks like it'll
easy.
bounce the fillings out of your teeth, but the Jeep itself goes up no problem.
Right?
There's been times where you and I are back and forth with videos and videos, and you're like, "Whoa, check this out!" And
Yeah.
because you can never imagine treating yours like that.
Do you think you'll
No,
ever
I-
take yours stateside for something like that?
No,
No?
I won't go that far for.
Because there's
No.
Bantam.
There's Bantam. I think you should do Bantam. I
Pennsylvania?
think you'd really like Bantam.
There's
Yeah.
craft beer. There's really friendly Americans, and there's
A bunch of Jeeps.
where the Jeep was kind of initiated. So,
Yeah.
and people love your trailer.
Oh, absolutely. I am
Yeah.
going to make you a decal for the back that says mobility scooter.
I travel so much for work that when it comes to my free time,
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
like to stay close to home.
Yes.
Because we're all about
I
talking
can feel
about,
that. I can feel that.
Yeah, we're all about
I
talking about the
appreciate
next
that.
adventure, the next travel and stuff, and the folks that have to do it without choice.
Yeah. Like I just got back. You are going soon, right?
Yeah, June 6th
Yeah.
to 9.
Yeah, I'm gone
And-
June 6th to 9. Or the week of June 6th anyway, up to Timmins.
I was just saying, you're heading to possibly Winnipeg this week.
I hope not. I'm going to do everything I can to avoid it.
There's somebody else. There's somebody else.
Yeah.
And then yours is for business as well, right?
Yeah.
Well, when I was traveling extensively, like I'd only be home pretty much short enough to just do my laundry.
Yeah.
I'd be home 2 days and then I'd be out.
I used to live out of a suitcase. I would never unpack my suitcase when I was in geophysics, because I could get home and then the next day get a call, or it could be a month.
Well, pretty much from January.
Yeah.
I would travel January, February, March, and I would be home only like maybe 20 days.
Yeah.
Because I'd be going in and out of places all the time. I lived in airports.
Yeah.
You know?
So is that what you wanted to do when you got home with your free time? Hey, let's go on a 23-hour road trip.
You have to understand that I'm completely a gypsy, so yes.
Yes, but I also have a house with a pool and whatnot that I don't get to enjoy very often. So
Family. You have a family.
Yes.
Great family.
yeah, well,
was
no,
definitely-
they would be coming to Bantam, so like that.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, like it's nice to spend time with them, yes, but they would be coming with me on personal trips.
Yeah.
So the reason why I get so excited is that there was the amount of custom Jeeps that we saw. So remember, there was a big 4-door like yours, and it had a rattle box in it. And from a mile away, I'm like 4BT. And like
I just love the history of like the army and everything like that. They had that whole encampment set up where you could walk through.
and you could
you
see
know,
all the history of the different
You could
Jeeps.
see all the history. They had the whole, they had the museum there.
Yep.
Where you could walk through and
Was
see.
it like a progression timeline? Of
Absolutely, and it had the
see.
progression of the grills through it too.
Okay.
On the walls, it was so cool.
Yeah.
And you could
That'd be
sign the
cool.
wall at the bottom, and they kept it going throughout, and it was really cool.
That'd be cool.
I think you would enjoy it, and Mabel would absolutely get some love, even if it was just to go down as a show vehicle for the weekend. She would get some love, but they had the on-site obstacle course. They had the mud challenge. When we were there was this white Jeep, and it was a JL. I think it was like one of the first years of JL that came out.
2018.
Yeah, so
2018 model, and we were down
it
there in
was-
17.
I was just
Okay.
saying, and it was like brand new, and it was white, and it had beige leather, and it was clean.
Is that the one that took the doors off and top off and went on the mud run?
Well, so the top was off already.
Okay.
But yes, they came up to the top of the hill to get in line,
Yeah.
and they took the doors off. And they ran through this mud hole that, like, would have buried, like, it buried all the Jeeps. I don't even think they made it through. I think they had to be pulled out.
Like everybody.
Like, because no one was making it through it as the weekend progressed. It was just getting harder and harder to go through. And I'm like, why did you come up here to the top to take your doors off? You put them on, you roll up the windows, close the top, and then proceed. Oh my god.
So
I
what
couldn't-
you're
then they-
saying is you don't go straight to the mud hole. You turn right and go to the perfectly good obstacle course that's not 6 feet deep.
It was really cool because you had like the 2 logs across, and you had to like, you know, keep your tires on them. There was a bunch of you know, concrete culverts. There was a bunch of off-road.
So technical driving.
All technical
And
driving.
the spotters were good because they would gauge, especially because we just kept going around and around, right? Because it was
Yes.
fun. And they would gauge your interaction. Like if you're pretty confident, they would step back a bit. But if you need a little bit of coaching, some spotting, they were right there. So they were fabulous. And they were an off-road club from the area.
Okay.
So that was cool. So we can relate to that.
Because there's Roche Creek there, and that was part of the Jeep Club that came
Which
out of
is
that.
So
Somewhere-
did you go to Roche Creek?
No, we didn't go.
I
We
want
didn't
to
have
go
the
to Roche
chance to
Creek. I
go.
want to go to Roche Creek.
Well,
Well,
you'll have to
that
just
is
go.
what the
Yeah.
plan is. My dad's planning on going once he gets his Jeep sorted this year.
Oh, this year. That's ambitious.
It is ambitious. My brother's doing the axles right now,
Okay.
so we'll see how it goes. He's trussing the 244s.
One more piece in
Doing all
the
that work and staying with 44s.
rather
He's renewed
committed.
to 513s.
Yeah.
Lockers rebuilt,
Lockers.
bearings fresh.
I mean, I guess he's only got running 37s, right?
Yeah, he won't go bigger
Yeah,
than 37s.
yeah.
He does not like the idea of 40s at all.
Yeah.
And it'll help keep the
Is
44s
he
away.
on? Did he end up going on struts or?
He's still in the process of trying to find suppliers that can get them to him
Well,
this year.
because they're back ordered.
Yeah, he wants to go remote
for years.
reservoirs.
Yeah.
At least some half decent shots.
Is he doing coilovers or struts?
Just nice shots.
Because him and I were talking
I'm
a
pretty
couple
sure
years
we're
ago,
just-
and he wanted struts.
I'm pretty sure we're just going nice shocks right now.
Oh, nice shocks. Okay.
Because I offered the set of Bilsteins that we have, and he wasn't interested in those because he wants remote reservoirs.
Something just next level.
So
Perfect.
my dad's Jeep is my Jeep in just green. But yeah, he has a Rubicon 44
That's
front and rear.
older, isn't it?
It's an 09, yeah.
Yeah.
09, mine's the 11.
Yeah.
I was trying desperately this weekend. We have another exact 2011 in the Jeep in the group. Same model, everything like that. His is standard, mine's an automatic. And he was mentioning that his ankle was hurting driving the standard. His clutch foot was hurting, and I was like, I have a solution for you. Why don't you come back to my place and we'll just fix that problem for you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, I really like the standard. I was like, God, do you really like it that much? I think I would like it more. I should have it.
That's right. I'll fix this problem.
And I'm like, I have a great automatic that would just be perfect for you. No, he wouldn't go for that. But I tried.
As you talk about, every shift's a cliffhanger.
I was just.
That's a great automatic, though.
It's a great automatic where you're not running tons and 40s. Like when we used to put the winter tires on, we used to go back to stock sizes. That thing was a race car.
Yeah.
Yeah, 488s. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, she was a race car with the stock tires on it, but
Yeah.
she's not a race car anymore. She's a slow Bertha.
So I think we've gotten a little off topic.
We have totally gone off topic.
But I think it's a good spot to end at.
Are we calling it a day?
I think so.
Do you have any other interesting tips you'd like to tell us about Mabel before we end off?
No, I can't think of anything that I haven't covered already.
Do you ever run with doors or pseudo sides?
No.
Well,
No,
we talked about that briefly because I was like, I've never actually looked at your Jeep. I didn't think it had the ability to have doors.
I have side curtains and doors for it, but they're just one gigantic blind spot. The vinyl's a bit yellowed, and even the canvas top I have, the rear window's pretty yellow, so
It has a couple
tiny
of
little
snot
mirrors.
scout kisses.
I don't want to add any blind spots.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. I love it with just the canvas top.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice and airy. It keeps the sun off you.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. Really.
I've got caught in the rain a little bit, and it's surprising how little rain you get on yourself, even with just the top.
Yeah.
You need a door on the roof.
Door on the roof? Yes. Yes.
I had PTSD when I go in Peterborough and it rains because Nick and I went to go pick up a door and we were having issues finding one because they said they had it and then they didn't.
Yeah, at Home Depot.
Yeah, at Home Depot, and your wife works at a hardware store local to there, and she had one in stock
For cheaper.
for a lot cheaper. It was a really
an
good,
extra $100 cheaper.
Yeah, it was like ridiculous for the shop
It's like
here.
free money, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, but the issue is when we started playing around trying to find the door, I drove there with no top on.
On the Jeep.
On the Jeep. Yes, we should make that abundantly clear. So we had to run the door on top of the roof, on top of the roll bar, and we drove home in the pouring rain. It was raining.
Like the heavens opened up.
Like you could not see at all.
Yeah, it was biblical.
And someone, not pointing fingers, decided that the door should sit closer to his side of the Jeep.
That just made sense for when we were loading it.
Apparently,
It's easier.
Yeah.
It was just easier
It was
for him,
easier.
yeah. Because the sky was getting a little bit gray when we were loading it. And there's a reel on our Facebook page and our Instagram, and I'm not super impressed. And it was just pouring down.
You were laughing.
I was laughing because you hit
You
a point
laugh
where you have to
or you
laugh.
cry.
Yeah.
You know, because like you can't stop it.
We did pull off into under that gas station for a bit.
Yes, there was a gas station, but see, there was about this much room that Nick, if you leaned close to the door, he was directly in line, and I was like, wait, pouring off the gas station, there was a direct, like, just huge waterfall, and I was like, do, and you were like, oh, got me, and I was like, ha, now you're as wet as I am. It was in the glasses. Oh, I was soaked. My son, who was behind me, he was soaked.
Yeah.
You and my other son were sitting on the other side, and they were, you guys were just like, why are you guys
I wouldn't
complaining about
I
it?
wouldn't
It's
say we
nice.
were completely dry, but we were in a lot better shape than.
Yeah, relatively speaking,
My
they were
Jeep
fine.
took like 2 days to
Oh,
dry
no doubt.
out.
It was.
I had to peel the top. Well, I made you come back here, and I'm like, you have to help me unload the door and put the top on.
Yeah.
Because it had stopped raining by the time we made it home, but...
Yeah. And I don't think it ever did rain here in Lindsay. It only rained in Peterborough.
Yeah, but it was... Oh, God.
We took the foam off the doors, off the top and everything, opened it up, and this was the next day, and it was still like that moisture on everything.
When you
It was bad.
I was just saying, when we walked out in the morning, the windows were fogged inside. They were completely white, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a long day.
It's gonna smell like wet dog for a while.
She did smell like wet dog. Thank goodness for no carpets because I'm done with that. So
Yeah.
wet dog is. Ugh. Anyways, so if you're ever caught in the rain, pick up a door.
Yeah.
They're apparently really good to avoid the rain.
Yeah,
So
like 1/3 to 2/3 of your top will be covered.
just make sure it's over you and not your passenger because screw them. So.
Poor Scout will be soaked.
No, it just makes. I'm sure. I feel like Scout would at least sit behind you. You know, I feel like he's a pretty smart dog. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, right
Yeah.
on. So I think we're all good, eh?
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll do what we've been drinking tonight. So
I'll
what do you have
start.
tonight?
I got Junction Craft Brewery Pilsner. Just a.
Is it a
Pilsner.
drink again or is it a no?
Oh,
thanks.
it's really good.
Oh,
It's
nice.
really good. Yeah, I started the night off with Timmy's, so this is way better.
What do you have?
Oh, I
I
got to
also
say.
have the Junction
Yeah.
Brewery.
Okay.
You're a light
Yeah.
lager.
Crispy light lager. Yeah.
And are you a drink again?
Yeah, I would have that again.
I say there has been two, so I'm pretty sure he's okay with that one. So
It's a cool can.
it is a
Yeah.
really cool can. We
Yeah.
actually follow a Jeep that has those colors, the bright yellowy green.
But I'm
with the pink.
definitely a lager guy. I'm not big on the IPAs.
Gotcha. Well, unfortunately, speaking of IPAs, I just got the old standby Wicked Awesome Nickelbrook, eh? So just.
So you had another one though, and that was an IPA as well.
Oh, yeah, that was
Oh,
a fun
van,
can.
van full of weirdos.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to lie.
Van full of weirdos, table full of weirdos.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
All we need now is a Westphalian and a road trip.
Yeah.
I can wear makeup, eh? Dye my beard, ginger.
Yeah. Well.
It's starting to grow back in since you had to shave it
Slowly.
for work. And I'm doing my Simply Spiked as always. I have a blueberry and a strawberry, and I'm a lightweight, so I'm already feeling it. So I'll be
But-
giggling after this. It'll be great.
Yeah.
But those aren't headache inducing. They're not
They're not
really
headache
sweet.
inducing.
They're not heavy. Like,
No, they're very light and nice. It's I really like the lemonade. I make a mixed drinks with the lemonade, so it's nice to kind of have.
and you're home for the night, so it's okay to be giggling.
Absolutely, I'm okay to be giggly, so
Yeah.
that's why I don't drink during the day because I may have to go somewhere. All right, as always, you can check us out on Instagram at WSOTR Jeeps. We're on Facebook, YouTube. You can find our this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes.
iTunes. Yeah.
Yep. You can shoot us an email at WSOTRJeeps if you're thinking that you have some good content or you want to hear us talk about something or explain something even better. Let's just say we have our website.
Yeah.
Anything.
Like, subscribe, all
Like,
that good
subscribe,
stuff.
follow us.
If you
shoot
like
it-
us, tell your friends.
Exactly. Shoot us a message, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Hear what you have to say.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Mabel's on Instagram.
There you go. Mabel is on
Oh,
Instagram.
what's-
You
what's-
have-
what's-
what's your Instagram handle for Mabel?
Oh, it's on the wrong side of the river Jeep's Instagram. There's lots of pictures.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All
There's
right.
lots of
Yep.
pictures, and Nick and I are busy. We're going to put together a mashup for Mabel of all of
Yeah,
her
a
trails this
little
weekend.
little special thing.
Absolutely. We got to spend some time and make
Yeah.
that
So
just
by the
perfect for her.
time this is released, it'll be up there.
Absolutely, it'll be on there because we are quite a few episodes ahead right now from where we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Happy trails, guys.
But